Today is Sunday, July 13th. Right now it's about noon Pacific time. The markets have not opened yet in Sydney, but this will just be a quick preview for the markets this week, and I'll also go over any trades I took last week. Actually, I'll look at the trades I took last week first. So last week, I entered a trade on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin last week, it's been breaking out to all-time highs. So in terms of the monthly chart, now we've clearly broken above the $100,000, $105,000 level. So this month, it's going to be a doji breakout, it looks like. So I entered a trade on the 10th at about 7 p.m. So let's see here, where was my exact entry? All right, so yeah, my entry was here in the Tokyo session. So I saw the breakout on Thursday. So there was a bit of a breakout on Wednesday, and then it consolidated right around 111,000. And then Thursday was the big breakout day. So I caught this trade late in the 4-hour chart, but I'm mostly following the daily and weekly chart here. So let's see, it was 7 p.m., so that's 1900. So by the time I bought, this breakout had already happened, but I sized my trade such that my stop loss was on the daily chart, so about 97,000. So this was 1% of my risk, quite wide, but I like to trade on higher time frames in Bitcoin just because the mid time frames are quite volatile. So you can see here, this was consolidation forming back in December. We failed the breakout, retraced down to 80,000, high 70,000s even in March and then April. And then since then, we've come back to test the $100,000 level, consolidated, and then last week was the breakout. So as of right now, Bitcoin, let's see, this is the Bitstamp exchange, but going from their pricing, right now it's at 119,000 and change. So I would expect this breakout to continue. In fact, I took about a 1% trade expecting to add on if this continues. So even if I were to buy right now, I could probably set a stop loss somewhere around 115, something here. So yeah, this looks to be a continuation this week. All right, so yeah, this is paired with dollar weakness. So we've seen the US dollar been quite weak the last month here. We can take a look at, for example, euro versus the dollar. Yeah, this last previous month in June, very weak, and euro has been strong. But also the yen has been weak. So I took a couple trades in Swiss franc yen, but I also exited. I was following some of the mid time frame trends. I bought back in the first week of July and second opening week. So I ended up exiting as the 1 hour and 4 hour charts turned flat. So I exited here on Tuesday last week, and then it consolidated for a day, but then come Friday, this shot back up to 185. So I'll continue to look for buying opportunities here. Just looking at the 4-hour chart, I drew a trend line resistance. So this tight wedge pattern was forming, and then it broke out on Monday, July 7th, came back to retest, and now this looks to be a support trend line. So yeah, on the daily and weekly, it's still very bullish. But I was a bit cautious on the breakout here as we broke out from 175 and it's been going up to 185. So I wanted to be defensive because there could be room for retracements around this area. But after last week, this looks to be a big bullish candle breakout. And then this month, I would expect it to continue. So if I were to get back in, I would probably size my trade to try and use this support line as a stop loss level. All right, so yeah, so two markets I'm looking at is Swiss franc yen and also Bitcoin for buying opportunities this week. But let's take a look at gold. Gold can also be set up to break out this week. So on the weekly chart, we've been consolidating since late April. We can see here the price is still above the weekly Tenkan Sen level. Kijun Sen is above, the Chikou span is above the price, and then the Kijun Sen is angling upwards. So, and we can see here when it tested the $3,300.60 level, this, you know, got kind of, it was like a wick here, but it's failed to sell down past the weekly Tenkan Sen. So this could be a position for a breakout. We'll see on the daily chart here. The price is pretty much at the midpoint level in the midterm. So that's indicated by the Kijun Sen. So if it's not able to sell off, we can see higher lows around here. We did try a breakout back in mid-June, but this one reversed. But yeah, mostly it's trading flat. The price is actually being supported by the Kumo on the daily time frame. So this would suggest the price is right now at the long-term midpoint consolidation. So at any time, it could break out, especially if dollar sells off again. I'm looking at this long consolidation pattern here, and it kind of matches the April to July time frame from last year. So if I just look at here, we had a long period of consolidation. Most of the Hane lines are overlapping. But as always, there could be false breakouts and retracements. So as we can see here, the first leg of the breakout attempt happened in July, but then it retraced towards the end of the month, and then we consolidated a bit more before breaking out in earnest. So this could happen here too. We could still have, you know, a higher high, but then a retracement, higher high until it somehow breaks out. But if I were to take a pre-position in this trade before breakout, I could supposedly buy here when the market opens and then set my stop loss somewhere around 3,200. So similarly, if I tried that kind of strategy back last year, it never violated the lows. So this could be a way to accumulate a small position to try and be positioned before the market breaks out and get a better risk to reward. Yeah, so I may do that. I may take like a 0.5% or 1% trade with a stop loss on the daily time frame. Yeah, this is what the monthly looks like. So even though the monthly is quite far from the Tenkan Sen, right now the lines are going flat, but this breakout could continue still. And it's interesting to see for the last three and a half months, there's been no retracement back to the Tenkan Sen. So that's a bit reassuring that the breakout would continue, seeing as, you know, if this was a price level that sellers would be interested, they might sell it more aggressively back down to take profits. Okay, so I think these are the best setups that I'm seeing, mostly gold, strong Swiss franc, weak yen. Dollar is kind of trading flat. I don't see any good currencies to sell it against except gold. Even dollar Swiss franc, you know, it's been quite weak the last couple months, but this month it's kind of paused, and I'm a bit wary to sell it through this descending trend line support. So, and just to think about it in real terms, the dollar is traditionally a strong currency, so it's unless something extraordinary happens, it's quite hard for a currency like that to have very extensive sell-offs. Same in the USDX index. So right now it's the price action has swung very much past the long-term midpoint indicated by the Kumo, and this is on the monthly time frame. So this is a very long-term midpoint here. So it's a bit hard to make a bet that it will go to the lows, from 2021 or 2018, especially without some more consolidation time. All right. Anything else? I don't see the euro currencies, although they are bullish in the long term, but in the daily time frame or lower, it's been kind of just chopping up, not really consolidating. I noticed CAD did sell off quite aggressively at the end of the Friday session. So in terms of the 1 hour time frame, it got pushed quite far in just one or two candles here. But overall, CAD I would say is consolidating as well. Okay, so overall July right now I'm mostly flat. Started with a $232, almost $33,000 balance. Right now I'm just a hair above 233, and that's because mostly Swiss franc, yen, I wasn't able to stay in the trade, so I took a small loss, took a small win, but yeah, still waiting for the next good setup here, pattern here.